decided that we design the solution that suits us. And that solution is that everything we do, since they make our country and our land very uncomfortable for us, we will bring our freedom from diaspora. And that's what we're doing today. So the enabling environment that was not created for us in Biafra land, the different countries where we reside have created an environment, and we are struggling to bring this kind of system back to our people for them to live like human beings. So we will always outsmart the terrorist state of Nigeria.
Only one, under his leadership, His Excellency Simon Ekpa. Anybody that is confusing anyone or telling you there is another, no, there is nothing. There's just one, recognized by His Excellency Simon Ekpa. And we can pray. Once he has that communication, Biafrans, we understand that Obato Obie does not take no crap from nobody. No matter who you are, you must respect that authority. That authority is the only thing that can protect all of us. But we thank God, somebody said this is a transition period. If these things does not happen, Biafrans will not know who is following our prime minister, who wants him to fail, who wants him to be out. So this moment is ordained to happen so that Biafrans will know who is who.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world. I welcome you to this amazing program. Thank you so much for joining us once again on this platform. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. Please like and share this program. And remember, this platform where you are watching this program is Biafra Exodus Hard Talk TV, a platform that stands with the United States of Biafra, under the command of our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa, and on the Supreme Command of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Today, under the control of Deputy Prime Minister COS Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, we bring information from the right source, the United States of Biafra, the government of our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. Wherever you are watching this program from, I urge you in the name of Chukwu Okike Abiama to like and share. Information is power. Remember, our Prime Minister encouraged us to engage in radical evangelism. Our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told us to carry everybody along. In doing that, you must help us to share this video. Like and share to family and friends and to every platform where you belong. This information is important.
People have been making a mistake as to what the president did in Rivers State. With profound respect to everybody that has been talking, the president did not declare state of emergency in Rivers State. The president declared a martial law in Rivers State. And I want you to understand the difference. The state of emergency is recognized by our constitution and has given the president the power to declare state of emergency under certain conditions. The Nigerian Bar Association, led by its president, has made it clear that none of those conditions has been fulfilled to warrant the declaration of state of emergency, meaning that the purported declaration is not a state of emergency. The Supreme Court is very clear. In the case of Attorney General of Bendel State and Adeyo, he said any act of governance not covered under an enabling law is a nullity. So there is nothing like state of emergency in what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did. Why? Because state of emergency does not, even if the situation has arisen, does not include the removal of elected representatives of the people. The Constitution is very clear. In section 1, subsection 2, that Nigeria shall not be governed or any part thereof by any persons except in accordance with the Constitution. Where is it in the Constitution where it was stated that Nigeria or any state should be governed by a sole administrator. None. So what the president did is akin to what the president of South Korea did when he declared martial law and wanted to remove the elected representatives of the people. The legislature moved in immediately, including the members of the party of the president, and removed the president himself for declaring martial law and intending to remove elected representatives of the people. That is a coup against the federation. The president of South Korea is awaiting trial for doing that, even his own party. So what the legislature is expected to be thinking about doing is removing Tinubu for declaring a martial law on a state, a federating unit, and trying to rule that state through the military, through sole administrator, not contemplated by our constitution. So what Tinubu has done, can't you see? And let me explain the more. He usurped even the power to make law for that state. He said the sole administrator can make regulation. Regulation is part of law, because regulation is a subsidiary legislation that derives its validity from a statute. So he usurped it through a decree, not our law, that the sole administrator can make law, and that he, Tinubu, and his cabinet will be the one to authorize the law, usurping the power of the legislature. That is treason. That is trying to govern Nigeria, or a part of it, in a manner not contemplated by the constitution. Now, Tinubu suspended numerous sections of the constitution in order to make his declaration. No state of emergency authorizes the government to suspend any provision of the constitution. But in declaring the martial law, which Tinubu did for Rivers State, he suspended section 1 of the constitution, section 179, 180, 188, 189, and section 120 and 121, including section 117 and 110, in other words 110 of the constitution. He suspended these several sections of the constitution in order to make that declaration. That cannot be declaration of a state of emergency. What are these constitutions, provisions of the constitution talking? You cannot govern Nigeria outside elected member of the representatives of the people. That is what these sections are saying. And these sections enumerated the methods that you can use to remove a member of the House of Assembly or the governor. 1, by death, by resignation, by removal through impeachment, by permanent incapacity, and expiration of term. And for the House of Assembly member, by recall. That is the summary of all these sections that I have enumerated. So the president suspended these sections and wanted to rule Rivers State by decree, because he has already usurped the power of the legislature. And that is why I'm saying that what he declared was martial law, was a coup against the people of Rivers State. Rivers State are the ones that elected the governor and the members of the House of Assembly. And even by interpretation act, he said he that appoints is the only person that have the power to remove. So the president did not appoint the governor. He did not appoint the members of the House of Assembly. They were elected. So the president has no right to remove them. And any government in place in a democracy was instituted by laws. And that is why the Supreme Court say any act of governance that is not covered under an enabling law is a nullity. Even the National Assembly that has the right, and I'm talking now about the state of emergency, for you to know the difference from the state of emergency and what Tinubu did. In the state of emergency, Section 305 was clear. You declare state of emergency when there is war, or when there is imminent threat of invasion of Nigeria. That has not happened. Or when there is actual breakdown of public order and public safety as to warrant extraordinary measure to correct the situation, or where there is a danger that such a thing will happen, or where there is a natural calamity of such that needs extraordinary measure to correct, or where there is a threat to the collapse of the Federation of Nigeria. This is section 305, subsection 3. Now, none of these things has happened, and the president came on TV to say there is a security report for you. Security reports, Mr. President, is for you. It is not for Nigerians. So anything that Nigerians do not know should not know Nigerians. You that know your security report, the security report has not given you the right to remove elected representatives. So what the state of emergency actually is doing is that the president should empower the democratic forces to be able to overcome the danger, even if it means using extraordinary measures. What is the extraordinary measures? The state of emergency that is talking about an extraordinary measure is that you have the right to restrict the fundamental human rights of Nigerians. When you are taking away the extraordinary measure, it does not mean removing elected representatives. And this was stated in section 45 of the Constitution, when they say that the provisions of the human rights cannot invalidate any law made by the National Assembly if that law is intended for the defense, public safety, public morality, public order, or public health of the country. And even that section made it clear that the National Assembly has the power to make such law for the defense, even if it affects the fundamental human rights. And in section 11, subsection 4, the Constitution made it clear that the making of the law by the National Assembly does not include the removal of the governor or the deputy. That is, even if the legislature is not functioning in that state. What does that tell you? That no law gives any right to any elected president to remove the elected representatives of the people. Now, let me tell you this catch. Because the president is referring to one pipeline or two that was breached during the regime of President Goodluck Jonathan. The whole pipelines in Niger Delta were threatened. Most of them breached by the militants that have waged war against the Federal Republic because of the marginalization of the Niger Delta. President Goodluck Jonathan, bless his soul, that was a situation that needed a state of emergency. He did not even declare a state of emergency because he did not believe that there was anything extraordinary in what these people are doing, which the security forces cannot contain. He simply made an order that the security forces should restore order in that region and arrest the culprits and bring them to justice. This was what he did. And the security forces moved in. No governor was affected, no House of Assembly was affected, and it led to the dialogue, which resulted in the amnesty, which brought peace to the region, which we are enjoying today. When a competent president wants to make peace in any part of the country, he goes it by the way that President Goodluck Jonathan, that President Umaru Yar'Adua went about it. You negotiate, you go into dialogue, not going to support your appointee in order to destroy the state because you want to capture the state. That is why it is not a state of emergency that he's doing, because Yar'Adua, faced with the problem in the entire Niger Delta, which breached all the pipelines, which brought war against the Federal Republic, did not even declare a state of emergency. And the president is telling you apprehension, there is tension, not that is anything actual, no evidence. So that is one. Secondly, when Goodluck Jonathan was faced with invasion, insurgency by a terrorist group called Boko Haram that has taken over local governments and 3 states were under threat, Goodluck Jonathan rightly declared a state of emergency and did not remove any governor, did not remove any elected representative of the people. Why? Because he was not declaring martial law, he was declaring state of emergency. And he took out that situation. I remember when Boko Haram, before the election, in 6 weeks, he wiped them out. Why he declared the state of emergency is to let the people know your movement might be curtailed. So don't come and quote for us freedom of movement. You should not come out in so time because stray bullets can catch you. And then if stray bullet catches anybody, you can't go to court and say the person was killed. That is the essence of the state of emergency. Your fundamental human rights could be involved. Now, let's go to Obasanjo. Because Obasanjo was the only leader that removed some governors during the state of declaring state of emergency, which of course the courts now have ruled illegal. But one thing Obasanjo did, he did not use it as an instrument of power grab. Obasanjo declared of removing elected representatives in the opposition party. And there was another governor that had the same security problem in another party. Obasanjo refused to remove him because he knew that he could interpret it as power grab. Obasanjo elected when Tinubu was governor, there was security problems in Lagos. Obasanjo restricted himself from declaring state of emergency in Lagos. I still remember it was Dele Alake that came out on TV and told Obasanjo, the security in Nigeria is your duty, not the duty of Tinubu in Lagos. And that if security had failed in Lagos, it is your failure, not the failure of Governor Tinubu. And you cannot declare a state of emergency in Lagos because of security failures. Because security is the exclusive reserve of the